Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another story. If I look famished, yeah, that's because I am. Listen to me, okay? This weekend it's been something. Every day is something. In the trucking industry, it's like it's always gonna be something. So yeah, of course, I have another story. I'm the new kid on the block at Landstar, so yeah, this is like the Landstar Chronicles, okay? So go ahead, hit that notification bell, subscribe, share, like, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate all of the support that I have been getting. And yes, I do not edit my videos, okay? I be doing the videos. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm human, okay? So things happen. I mess up on words. Sometimes I be talking too fast, but guess what? This is my story to tell. Okay? It's either you're gonna sit back, enjoy, listen, laugh, have a good time, either learn from it, give some advice, do whatever it is that you do. The negativity, I care less for. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Okay, we're all human. Nobody is perfect. So when people come and they try to act like they're holier than thou and they're more perfect, listen, baby, I don't pay attention to none of that. Okay, if you made it this far to listen to it, subscribe. Okay, so I got some more for you. Subscribe. Whew. So, anyways, let's get into it. Um, yeah, like I said, I look rough. I look really rough. I was driving, doing some night driving. I left my house. I've never been so happy to not be home. Like I went home this weekend. Of course, I'm on a low, but I went home this weekend. Everything was fine on Saturday. I got home like Friday. Everything was fine then. Everything was fine Saturday. Sunday, and it just kept feeling like the house was getting hotter. And I'm like, I know it's super hot outside, but the house was getting hot, baby. Before you knew it, I was running to Walmart to go get fans. My AC, the HVAC system, I don't know. It's like it's on, but it's not blowing. And then it'll come on and it sounds like a clacking noise, and then it'll just stop. But my unit is not old. Like my unit is still fairly new. So I don't know, but somebody's coming out to look at it today. So hopefully by the time I get back home, it will be fixed and I will be in some cool air because baby, this summer here, don't owe nobody nothing. It is so hot. So hot. And for my AC to go home and out in my house to be hot, oh my God. Oh my God. I was jetting up out of there. I grabbed my dog and I was like, oh no, come on, Louie, let's go. So yeah, we got back on the truck. Because I do have to deliver my load. But anyway, this video here, I was supposed to do this video on last week. I'm not gonna say what day, but last week, right? And all of the things was going on because I did have plans this weekend. Not my AC going out, but other plans. So I was trying to get home, so I didn't really get to do the video. I was supposed to do it yesterday, and it was just too much going on. So here we are. We gonna do it now, okay? This story is crazy. It's always something going on in the trucking industry. And when I say always, I mean literally always. Okay. So it's this load. There's an agent that I kind of work with. I do like them. Their loads make sense. Okay. And so this is my second time pulling one of their loads. And they always have the same, freight. So I was like, okay, very light load, pays very decent. And so I was like, okay, um, I booked this load. So usually when I talk to the lady, I'm like, okay, I need the early load because I be liking to go. I be having my things set up, the next load after that. So I kind of do it like that. I don't really like to cancel loads. So I kind of just like pre-plan my whole schedule, according to the time and everything, given the fact that things may happen. But for the most part, that's how I do it. And so I booked this load. Talk to the agent. Oh yeah, make sure I have the early one. She's like, oh yeah, yeah, I got you. You got the early one. This, that, whatever. So I'm like, okay. I get there the day before at probably 6 o'clock at night. Right. I gotta pick up this load tomorrow. It's supposed to load at 10, but the load actually they're actually going to load it early. Okay, this is what has been communicated to me, because there's two loads. They both pick up at 10 p.m., but one is going to get loaded early, so I'm going to get the early one. So I get there. When I get there, of course, I check in, I go into the office, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm talking to, the shipper, and I'm like, well, you know, I come to find out about this load. I give him my load number. This man gonna tell me, oh, yeah, there's two loads, but the load that you got, that's the one that leaves at 10 at night. I'm like, no, it's not, because that's not what the agent told me, right? So now I'm looking like, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm already here. You want me to sit all the way past 12 hours, to past 24 hours to pick up this load? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If that's the case, I'm gonna cancel this load, right? Because that's not what she told me. The communication is bad at this point. So I go outside, I go calling her, the agent, and I'm like, this is not what you told me. And she was like, well, it's two loads. I don't have any control over that. You don't have any control over that. Well, then you should have never said that at the beginning. If you don't know what's going on, you telling me this because you want me to go there and pick up the load. Like, mama, listen. Mind you, they are good for calling Landstar, and trying to complain about this and complain about that, because I've been through that with them when I couldn't. Before I had another load and I had pre-planned and I was supposed to pick up a load from them, and I didn't think I was going to make it, and so I had called them, and she called Landstar on me. She called Landstar on me like, oh, I don't have a valid reason. And I'm like, well, if I can't pick it up by the time that you have scheduled because I'm backed up on this load, what do you mean that's not a valid reason? This is a truck. Like, this is not an airplane. I can't just press a button and some wings fly out and I'm just over there in like 2.5 seconds. Things happen with the previous load. So I had already been there with them, but because they have good loads, the second one, I just try to keep it cordial, but now you're playing games. Okay. So according to what you're telling me, I'm gonna have to cancel the load I have after this. So I'm telling her, I'm like, well, last time when I was on a load and it conflicted with your load, you called Landstar on me. I said, that's not right for me to do that to the agent after you, the load that I have. I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you don't want your loads canceled, they don't want their loads canceled either. So if you're over here conveying messages and now you're telling me you don't have any control over that, you shouldn't do that. Just put the load on the load board and don't say nothing about it. But don't tell me, oh, I'm going to get loaded first, right? So I go back into the shipper because I don't hung up on her. Like, I'm so pissed right now. So I go back into the shipper and I'm like, you know, before I call Landstar and tell Landstar what's going on, because she technically did lie. But Landstar like to always say, oh well, you've already what's the word that they use? They say you've already dedicated yourself to this load. Okay, you're already committed to this load. Yeah, but I was committed to what she said about the load too, not just the load. So if you're giving me the load and the information is not valid, I didn't make a commitment to your lie. Okay, so anyway, go back into the shipper. And when I go into the shipper, I'm talking to the guy. Some people, I think that when you have a good attitude or whatever it is, you get better results. Okay, don't be going in there snobby, nasty, acting shitty, talking to people like they're lower than the dirt underneath your feet. So we was in there, we was clowning, we was talking and everything, and I was telling the guy, I'm like, listen, I got something to do this weekend. So the guy, he was like, well, I'll get your trailer loaded, right? It was one of the workers from the warehouse. He was like, I'll get your trailer loaded, right? He said, tomorrow morning, your trailer will be loaded by 1:30. Okay? I said, okay. I'm going to hold him to that, right? We did the pinky promise, cross my heart, hope to die, stick a needle in your eye, the whole little thing, right? And so he was like, okay, I'm going to get your trailer loaded. So I went out, and did all what I had to do, went to sleep, woke up. When I wake up, it's like, it was early, but around 11, I decided to go and check on the status to see what was, because they were working overnight. You could tell me anything. This is a new crew in the morning. They probably, everybody got to be on one page. You telling me that, but do they know that? So I have to go in and make sure everything is everything. Okay, make sure it's all copacetic. What you said is true. You did the little pinky promise. So yeah, go in there. And there was a lady in there, so I'm talking to the lady, and she was like, "Oh, I gave her the load number. She's like, "Oh, your trailer's ready now. It's 11 in the morning." So I'm like, "Okay." Right? I didn't say nothing. So she was like, "Okay, well, he's going to go outside when you see him bring the trailer around, come back in and get the paperwork and then go hook up." But my first mind told me, because I already knew the situation that happened last night, I said, I ain't playing that game. So when he brought the trailer around, baby, I backed up and I hooked up. I go get the paperwork, but let me hook up first, because I know what was told to me yesterday. So I'm not doing it. So I hooked up. Then I went to go get the paperwork. This way get good, right? So I go get the paperwork. When I'm coming back out, right, I'm walking, making sure everything is everything. Everything is adding up. The information is correct. I just get bum rushed by this girl from Landstar. She just walked up to me like she was angry. And she walked up to me. I don't know this girl. Of course, I've never seen this girl. And she just walked up to me like she had pressure. And I was like, so she walked up to me. She like, "You just picked up that load?" I'm like, "What load?" She like, "That Landstar load." I'm like, yeah, I did. Right. And I still got the paperwork in my hand. I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I picked it up." Right. Because at this point, I'm on the defense, right? I'm like, "Listen, mama, you can't just be running up to nobody like that. You don't know the people. You just, listen, I'm not about to fight you about no load, my girl." Right. So she come and she like, "Yeah, because that's my load. I'm supposed to pick up that load." I said, "Well, I don't know. You got the same pickup number as me, because I went in there and gave my pickup number and they said my trailer was ready." And so she was like, "No, it's not. It's not that. It's the agents. The agents be lying. This, that, whatever." I was like, "Well, listen, that sounds like a you and an agent problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But the way you just running up on me like I did something to you about this load," and she was just carrying on. And she was like, "What time?" She started asking me all these questions about the load. She's like, "What time that load's supposed to be ready? And what time?" And I'm like, "Listen, boo, call Landstar, okay? Your issue ain't with me. You over here questioning me like you supposed to be the FBI, the DEA. Girl, by the load." She's like, "Oh, I'm going to go cancel it." Wait, you go right on ahead and do that and get the hell out of my face. That's how I was thinking. But let me tell you, granted, I think she was there first, right? So whatever happened there, I don't know if I played a part in swaying the situation. Still, that's not a problem that you got to take with me. You need to call Landstar. You need to call, the agent. You need to call somebody. But you can't be seeing people out there and just rushing up to people like you know what type of time they're on. I might not be on the same type of time you on. What if you would have ran up and I would have just hit you with a two-piece clack clack? Then what? But you can't do that. I understand. Listen, you've been sitting there now, for you got there before me. I didn't want to wait the 24 hours, and now you gotta wait till 10:30 at night, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. I get it. I would have been mad too. But baby, your issue ain't with me. I work for Landstar, okay? I work for me. I work with Landstar. I don't work for the agent. I don't work for the shipper. I don't work for none of it. Okay, I'm just pulling low, trying to make a little money. I understand you trying to do the same thing, but girl, you can't just be running up on people, because listen, I don't want to have to turn into Layla Ali on your ass. Okay, so, but yes, that is what happened at the ship. So the agent apparently lied to the driver, and the driver was irate, and I was getting my things together so I could peel on up out of there, which I did, because I didn't want them to call me and be like, "Oh no, it was a mistake." Well, listen, baby, I already done left, so y'all need to fix that over there on y'all end. Oh yeah, I was gone. So that is what happened. And I think, I'm not gonna say that some of the agents don't be lying. They do. They do be lying. So you need to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, because they be wanting you to pick up that load. And they just like, but me, I will call Landstar in a heartbeat. I got them on speed dial because I don't learn. You understand what I'm saying? No, I know you want this load to be pulled, but baby, I don't work for free. Okay, all this time got to be accounted for. I don't work for free, so I guess she did go and cancel the load. Not sure, because like I said, I didn't know Miss Mama's, but the way she walked up on me, honey, she was looking like she was looking for a 2-piece and a biscuit with the drink. Okay, and listen, but that's what happened. Anyways, leave your comments below. I hope you like this story. Laugh if you must, cause I laughed all the way to the damn delivery. And in the meantime, ta ta, take care.